It's so over. Are we back? Are we back? Oh man, this is gonna be a really chill show. I feel like the sound and the picture is off too, but whatever, it's fine. All right, Ducky, we're back for the 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, 8:07 show. All right, what a wonderful time. I had a chance to eat real quick too for the indie reporter show. I don't know if I should just bail out on Tuesdays. I have like very little time to prep and like watch some little snippets of what's going on. Like I get home, I gotta take a quick shower, and then I have all these notes that I took throughout the day, and it's just like, this show is gonna suck. Don't watch the Tuesday show. Maybe I won't even promote the Tuesday show anymore. I'm just gonna promote the rest of the show. Like 8 o'clock is perfect. I just posted the clip from Greg Taylor where he's like crying to Aaron Freeman. It's like, hey man, hey, why can't we just like had to scoop the cat box? Well, that's good. It's like, why do we have to start at 8 a.m.? Why can't we start at 9 p.m.? You know, it'll only be. He was like, if we start at 8 and we get done by 11, we're gonna have some problems. It's like, dude, these senators, Greg Taylor, I checked his gov salaries. He made over $83,000 last year. And what they work from like January to March? Really? Really? So even if you, because I think they start in like what, middle of December. I said, bro, Mike, I had a bunch of them in there. Yeah, my bad. Boomer's fine. It's fine, whatever. No big deal. Honestly, this was going to be a pretty chill show anyway. I was so locked in to talk about the nuclear stuff that I didn't even think about what I was going to talk about tonight. I saw Braun and Micah and a bunch of them in there. Oh, what? Oh, the cat box. That's funny. A bunch of turds. A bunch of turds. It was too early. Everyone should be shoved back to like 10. No, I don't think so. Brad, you know, me and Drew have this talk often. We talk about you sometimes. Nothing bad, but we're just like, you're like our fish, basically in prison. We're like, no one's allowed to touch our fish. And like when anybody starts talking shit to you, like randomly, it's like we're gonna protect our fish unless our fish is like intentionally trying to start shit. You're like our Indiana Will Stansel, Brad. I don't know if you know who that is, but like he got punched the other day, and all the right wing people are like, nobody fucking touches Will Stansel. It's like we'll mess those people up. What if there are people who want to come speak? Oh no, yeah, that's fine if you want to. I'm just saying, like, if anybody just like comes attacking you, like me and Drew are gonna mess those people up. Like the bat signal will go off, and we'll start mogging them online and just tell them we're gonna knock their fucking teeth in and take their shoes. That's what we're gonna do. Nobody messes with our fish. Brad's our Indiana Will Stansel, so only me and Brad are allowed to, or me and Drew are allowed to mock our Will Sawinski. What do you like? What do you like? Brad Stansel or Will Sawinski? I kind of like Brad Stansel, to be honest with you. I like that one a little bit better. All right, let's get into some cray because we got to talk about Rob Kendall too. All right, so there was an article from Indy Star saying about this bill, SB 199, and this is just another turducken bill, a lot of fingers and a lot of holes, and a lot of random stuff. It's not even getting a hearing tomorrow, but in this bill, they say if there's a single line buried in the middle of the bill and absent from the bill digest, which will effectively eliminate public college degrees where graduates earn less than their counterpoints with only a high school diploma. So this is what I'm calling the Taylor Swift bill. And I think there's like college courses in Texas where you could learn about Taylor Swift lyrics, which is the dumbest thing ever. But anyway, the reason why is because it lines up with the OBB, one big beautiful bill, the OBB, yeah, the OBB, and the bill ties the definition of a low low earning outcome program to a section of federal law amended by 47. The one big, beautiful bill act, that bill already restricts federal student loans from going towards such degrees, but the Indiana bill would go further by putting the degree programs themselves on the chopping block, as it should, be honest with you. Like, there's no reason to be paying, especially using federal dollars for totally bunk bill. And by the way, I'm looking out for the children on this one. I'm looking out for the kids. You know, if you're younger than me, you're a kid. So we're looking out for the kids who aren't going to be in financial debt for the rest of their lives because of all this. I'm on the OBD, as you can see. Yeah, exactly. I've been waiting for somebody to make a joke. I'm so glad that Tyler was the one that did it. All right, so, but all the Democrats voted with it. The only people that voted against it was Freeman and Schmidt, which is fine, you know, because there's other parts of the bill that I'm sure are fine. I'm not reading it. I think it's honestly, I think it's kind of a big bill, right? How many pages is it? 180? No way. Oh, 18. Okay. There's only 18 pages. Listen, you know what I normally do? I copy all of this and then I slap it on ChatGPT and I say, draw me like your French women. Tell me what I need to know about this exactly. Like, I'm not gonna read all this. I mean, I can, but like, listen, I'm not a smart man. I'm a high level guy, but just tell me the meat and potatoes, all right? I don't want to have to read all this garbage, all this legalese to find out what's going on. Oh, this is what Greg Taylor was talking about, was the stillbirth of an employee's child. This one was kind of wild, and then Tyler Johnson had to come in there and be like, it's because a stillbirth is like recognized in the medical field as 20 weeks. It's like, but what does this have to do with? Well, it's because there's basically a definition of a stillbirth, and that's what has to be in there. Skip the drivel. Yeah, exactly. Skip the drivel. Just give me the meat and potatoes, you know. I can't stand wasting time, and everything is usually in bold on the things. The new sections are in bold letters. But yeah, interesting stuff. But it's not being heard tomorrow. There's 4 other ones. Brad have talked about it in the reporter show. SB 78 for wireless communication device policy, boys. How many pages is this thing? I really wish I can get, 8 pages. All right. I might be able to read all that. Okay. I think there was an amendment too, where they took off social media. Okay. So they struck out instructional time and they put in their school day, which means the entirety of the time a student is present on school property for a student instructional day. Okay. So they added in there also smartwatch, and except as provided in subsection D, which is, where is subsection D? Where's D? Where's D? I don't know. But they took out subdivisions. They put in requires a teacher directed of a blah, 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 mandates one of the following policies, and no device policy under which students are not permitted to bring wireless communication devices to, a secure storage policy under which It's so funny because Fort Wayne schools talked about how they spent like $200,000 on little baggies. But someone actually brought up a really good point. Yeah, I totally agree. Seen a sandwich of no, a sandwich of Brad, I completely agree. This is why I keep saying we need to bring in the boo box. The only way that we can fix these children is to put them in the boo box. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You ever seen Hook? You put the kid in this wooden crate, and then you start putting scorpions in there. And then when you throw it in there, you go boo, 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 until they have finally figured out don't use your cell phone during school time. It's literally that simple. Listen, this goes in with my Bums on Bikes program too. Don't you wait. Just wait until next year. I'm going to have it all dialed in. It's going to be so much fun. All right. So, yeah. All right. So people were talking about this today. It's so funny. Democrats are late to the show as usual. Johnny Schmidt's in there, Stockade. Yeah, I mean, there needs to be something. We just, everybody keeps talking about how these children, well, they got so much energy, they need to burn it off. Okay, cool. So why don't you extend gym time then? Why don't you say, hey, we're going to, what the hell is that? How did my whole thing just shift down? I think my computer's hacked. I think Skynet has become aware. Just have them run some laps, I think the only way that they need actual consequences, all right? It's like all these dumb kids that were doing that protest this week and last week that we were getting phone calls from and stuff and threats and everything. The threats are always fun. I've had more threats this year than I have out the entire time that I've been on the internet. It's actually been funny. You might have to plant and maintain a garden. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. You just have to take the bat. This is okay. So hear me out. I'm thinking that we build a Faraday cage around the school, right? So there's nothing coming in, nothing coming out, no wireless anything. And then everything is just hardwired. Easy peasy, right? Oh, you want to call me? Hardline it. Bam. Tell me I in the Pavlov technique always. Where's the Pavlov music classes? What's the Pavlov technique? Tell me your ways about the Pavlov technique. Is this a I don't know about the Pavlov technique. Oh, classical conditioning. Bring up back to oh well, yeah, I'm totally down with shop classes for sure. It just costs a lot of money. We need something that can be done right away. Classical conditioning, behavioral procedure in which a biological potent stimulus is paired with a neutral stimulus. Oh, okay. So why don't we get like a dog whistle, and then every time you're bad, like Caesar, what's that? The dog trainer. You never seen like the South Park episode where they're training Cartman, just like get him right in the side. Dog and noise trade. Yeah, exactly. I'm fine with that. Now let's see what happens when we take away the puppy. Project-based learning. Oh, yeah. The problem is they're just so distracted. It's just, pew, 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 boom, 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 shiny thing, squirrel. And they get bored real easily. I don't know. I'm just telling like a swift kick to the face is always, I think that's always worked. All right, so let's talk about HB 1333. I saw everybody talking about this bill. We brought this up on Twitter and Facebook in January. This is the Land Use and Development Bill. What kind of noises do you make? Like, can't use a firecracker, right? All right, so what this bill actually does, let me bring up some of this. It's multi-layered bill. I'm calling this like the data center bill, but it could be used for solar panel as well. This is the anything bill. All right, so in this bill, hold on, okay, so in this bill, they were talking about data centers, and there was an amendment from Soliday during committee where they say, hey, we have these data centers, or let me break it down for you. Back in 2019 or 2017, when all the data center bills were coming out, they said that data centers they had a sales tax exemption. That means all those had to pay sales tax, but they didn't on the things that they bought and the electricity that they use. And in the original bill, it brought that back. And then the bill was cut up, and they said, actually, we're going to make sure that the exemption still stands. And then there was an amendment in committee that said, well, we can have the 1% of the stuff that you buy will go to the local government. So, however, in Indiana law, that would only apply for things bought in Indiana. So this is a Fugazi amendment, in my opinion, because you're saying that, well, we're going to buy stuff, and the things that we buy, we're going to, the 1% of instead of the exemption is going to go into that local area. But if you don't buy things in Indiana, it doesn't matter. So if you buy things in Ohio, they're not getting anything because they did not buy it in Indiana. This is a fake amendment. Soliday's a piece of crap, and he should be deported for this. All right, other things too. There is a brownfields program. And I'm not sure how you guys are feeling about this, but basically, if the soil is no good for agriculture, I forgot, it was like between 3 and 7. I don't know how like soil monitoring works, so I'm just going to say brownfields program. But basically, they're going to say if this soil is no good for farming, it's going to be considered a brownfield, and we can kind of do whatever we want then. We will have local input, but there will be no local control. Also, it gives the certain immunity or certain governmental immunities to certain private entities and nonprofits. This is more like a carrot on stick thing if someone wants to bring a utility solar or data centers in there, but they do have to clean it up properly. But they are given immunity. We're like, hey, we did our best to no big deal. But This is like gross negligence, like I purposely open up the toilet water and let it hit the ground, that kind of stuff. Not like, oopsie, I got in trouble, I will fix that. And let's see, big one, sales tax. Okay, so state preempts local control of large power and storage facilities. This is a big one. This is the one that everybody's having a problem with right now. Is that the you will be able to, let me break it down for you. You will be given where is it? I just have my notes right here. You'll be given information about, where is it? It's all the way down. Basically what the project is of the, hold on, okay, here we go. Generation, storage capacity, technology type, expected lifespan, start date, operation date. You'll get site details, what they plan on doing it, what the economic impact will be doing, and the safety. So you'll be able to give input, but anything past that, you're not getting anything in there if you want it. So if you say, hey, I would really love trees so I don't have to see that giant monstrosity. Hey, I would like to have a setback so I don't have to hear anything too. Because like if, for example, a data center, there's like 200 diesel generators that have to be tested every week or every month. And they want to make sure it's like, well, do it like at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. And also make sure that the decibel meter isn't that large. Unfortunately, whatever you say, you're not going to get. Whatever you want, you're not going to get. That aren't a piece of crap. No, the way to get rid of property taxes. Okay, so funny you say that, Tommy. Is that they Soliday pointed out over in Hammond is that the amount of increased of assessed value would be able to pay off all the property taxes in Hammond. I don't know what that means exactly, because the data centers they get property tax abatement. So what he's saying, because the data center went in there, they had such a higher tax property assessed value that you could use that money to pay off property taxes. But like, okay, well, the assessed value went up, so I would have to pay property taxes no matter what. And since the data center doesn't really have to pay property taxes, a lot of times they have like a 10-year property tax abatement with an option to renew. Then what are we actually talking about here? Yes, Ducky, you are 100%. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's so funny that we always talk about a surveillance state and we see all the stereotypes being true. The problem is there's no enforcement mechanism. A lot of the times, a lot of people will sign up to have cameras everywhere, kind of like in London where there's CCTV everywhere, but there's no enforcement mechanism. So what's the point of someone committing a crime if the consequence is not enforced? That's always been my argument. It's like, hey, we're paying a bunch of money for everything. Doesn't matter what it is. We pay our property taxes, we pay our wheel tax, we pay our gas tax. Tax, fine, fee. However, are things getting any better? No. Every dollar should be stretched to its limit for local government and municipalities. Everything that we do. Perfect example. What happened just last week with the snow? They had how long to prepare for this? And then DPW says, oh, we've been prepping this since Friday. And what happened on Sunday? We got a bunch of snow. They waited for a certain amount of time before they dropped the plow trucks. And then the next day, we're like, okay, we're going to deploy the contractors so they can start plowing local roads. I leave my house on Monday morning. Dude, Rockville's a giant mess. They didn't touch they didn't touch my road. I mean, they touched my road by the time I came back. I'm still wondering if they know where I live. So like, hey, we have to make sure we get Whitty's road so he can't talk crap about us. So, but like on the way home, Rockville was a mess. Then I drove around on Monday night before the Indie Reporter show. Washington was a mess. 10th Street was a mess. Holt was a mess. Tibbs was a mess. I only went up to 10th Street because I was running out of time. So I got done with the show. I go downtown. And downtown's an absolute mess. I'm like, wait a minute. And I only saw one plow truck, by the way, and it was on the way home, and I saw it on Rockville, like right where Rockville and Washington merge up. Oh yeah, I saw it on Washington, right where they merge up. They're coming from Rockville onto Washington. I'm like, what the crap is this? Now, I did not see a single plow truck at all, and I took like Rockville to Washington, and then tried to come back down to Michigan, and then that whole detour turned into a giant mess where I had to like circle back around onto like Belmont. I was over by like Harding and Oliver, like weird west side. John, you know what I'm talking about. Special power in the house. Let's go. So, but like none of the roads were plowed. So you're telling me, and by the way, the council gave an extra $4 million to DPW for plowing the roads. That does not make any sense at all. Like, how are you going to say, we will take care of this? We give you guys like $4 million is an obscene amount of money for plowing a road. I saw Scott Willis over on Twitter asking if anybody needed the road plowed. He's like, hey, we're going to use the, what is it? The honest game, whatever it is. I forgot. Hey, make sure you tell me the truth, basically. Scout's honor game, basically. And they were like, and so he went and plowed people's roads. That's exactly what I've been doing. Dude, I'm telling you, if I were to ever run for mayor, I would say, hey, city councilors, you want your stuff done? You're going to be plowing the road. You're going to be hopping in that truck, and you're going to be plowing roads in your district. It's very easy. Do you guys see? Oh, let me show you guys this real quick. Dude, I love this. I was showing this to everybody, and they're like, that's a genius idea. I'm like, I know. It's so easy. Where is it? I don't know why the thing's missing. Hold on. This was my plan for plowing the roads. Here we go, baby. Right here. Boom, look at that. Zones, baby. Zones. We have 70 plow trucks. This is how you fix it right here. Everybody has their zone. That's all you're going to do. You're going to monitor your zone. And then we ended up finding out through DPW, they have 17 one-ton plow trucks for the BRT lane and for bike lanes. Dude, BRT is a net negative. Bike lanes people who bike don't put money into the system. We do. The commerce does. All these people need to be deported. Yeah, dude, for real. Don't worry. We're going to talk about Rob Kendall, Vic, here in a second. So I don't even know where I was going with this, but who cares? Anyway, 1333 is mostly it does take away local control. However you feel about brownfields and putting something on there, I don't like any and all the above. Turn into a parking lot for all I care. I don't like data centers. I don't like solar panels. They don't do crap. A plow plan, roll it out. Oh, dude, for real. Everybody hates me, but they're going to love my plan. They're going to love my plow plan. Would that not be like the coolest idea, though? If you were to have your elected leader, hey, go downtown, grab a plow truck, and you are going to plow for a couple of hours. And then what do? You're a part-time making $30-something thousand a year, working a couple hours a month. Like, that's just crazy. Do you know how much I found out how much Pike Township board members make? Someone told me they make $32,000. Oh, they do make $32,000 a year, but they're township board members. I was like, all right, for that, I think Wayne Township is half that, which is fine. I don't care. Yeah, I know they'll never go for it. You know what a lot of it has to do with is the unions. The unions will not like this plan because it was so funny watching that DPW meeting because the head union guy was like, we're away from our children. We're away from our family. We're away from our friends, trying to take care of this mess. It's like, yeah, that's what involves getting a job. When I'm at work, I'm not seeing any of those people either because I have a job to do. Man, we're on 12-hour shifts. Like, dude, these people are getting paid like $200-something an hour. It's crazy. All right. Anyway, let's talk about nuclear facility permits for a few minutes, and then we'll get into the Rob Kendall stuff. All right, so nuclear facility permits is very fascinating because this is we saw last year all that SMR legislation trying to help out small modular reactors, try and fast track them. Hey, you know, when it shows up, when SMRs show up, we already have the bills for it. We already have the policy, the language, and everything, and all the tax breaks. Don't forget. So, what does this bill do? All right, so I was getting mad with it because it takes away local public comments. That was my problem with it. I still don't like it. I still think it's crap, no matter how they put it. All right, so what this comes down to is that there was a Supreme Court decision, I don't know how long ago, that will line up federal code with IDEM, with state code. And basically what it says right here, it repeals the provisions that prohibits a person from constructing or operating or increasing the capacity of a facility without a permit from IDEM. It takes away all this. There repeals 1 and 2. And basically what it happens is the Fed said, all right, so this is how it's going to work. The National Regulatory Commission, Ducky, or anybody who was watching any reporter show, I said, it's like, I know the NRC, I thought it was NERC, but it's actually NRC, NERC. And I knew it had to do with something with nuclear. It's Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So anyway, they will be in charge of construction, operation, and radiological safety. IDEM will be in charge, it's actually the IURC, which is the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. Those are the people that approve the rate cases, or as I call the rape cases, and they will be in charge of handling the public hearings. And they will also be in charge of economics. Like, is it viable? Does it make sense to put a nuclear facility over here? Does it make economic sense? They'll also, apparently they'll be in charge of the public meetings as well. What didn't make any sense is that, but the state will also be in charge of siting, not D. Requires a person proposing to construct a facility file with IDEM instead of the ERB under current law, and environmental feasibility report concurrently with the filing documents. All right, so the Indiana residents could show up to a state hearing and weigh in, and that's about it. Is that what this bill is? Hold on, I want to make sure I have the right bill. No, this is the wrong bill, but it basically does the same thing. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, it is the right bill, 258. I was thinking of 1333. They're kind of the same, to be honest with you, a little bit the same. It removes Indiana's separate nuclear permitting system and relies mostly on federal regulation. And so here's what's interesting about the meetings. This lawyer was saying, well, actually, they're going to have separate meetings. So instead of having water, air, and waste and other of one giant meeting, they're actually going to be separated out anywhere between 3, 4, 5, and 6 meetings as a max of 6. And then the IURC is supposed to be in charge of holding those meetings. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Right now it's in committee. I think they're going to be having an amended vote at the next time that they have. Remember, we're in a short session right now. And things are going to get really weird really fast. Makes economic sense for them. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be paying for it no matter how they look at it. It's like the 1% sales tax thing. Like, it's great. We are going to have to pay for it at the end of the day. All right, let's get into Rob Kendall, shall we, boys? All right, so if you guys were watching the Saturday show, I basically talked for like an hour about Rob Kendall, about what was going on, the things. I couldn't say anything that I knew at all, and because I was sworn to secrecy. But now that it's all out, I don't think it much matters anymore, and because he made everything public. I will give some slight critiques. Obviously, this is not a bash Rob Kendall thing at all. This is a let's put out the information, let's talk about it, and and what does the future hold? First off, I want to say Rob is going to be fine. Okay, Rob has been in this business for a long time. Me and him are cut from the same cloth, as in we are survivors. We will make it work no matter what. Also, Rob has a lot of opportunities ahead of him because what's always the thing? What is the thing that I have? Yeah, I'm not here to bash Rob at all. Me and him are on good terms. We talk, we float ideas next to each other or across to each other. Um, Other people though do not like Rob. I understand why, but he's never done anything for me. Yeah, Rob is definitely gonna be fine. Yeah. Here's the thing though. This is how I related to like Indie Reporter. I have no handcuffs at all. I can do and say whatever I want. There might be consequences to what I say, but like I don't have a paycheck. I don't collect money from doing Indie Reporter. I don't collect money from doing Whitty Reviews or any of the stuff that I do. And that's what I'm able to say a lot. Why do you think I'm not on the radio anymore? Because I flew too close to the sun from a person that gives a lot of money to Urban One. Now, you have Rob Kendall where the handcuffs are off. What do you think he's going to do now? Whatever he wants. That's what makes this so much more fun. Yeah, and what we're talking about here in a second, Brad. That's a good point that you have. With that being said, like we knew this whole contract negotiating thing was kind of going pretty far. Because I remember last year he talked about how he had his contract renegotiated, or like he upped his contract. He got another year on it. However, it was like, well, what's taking so long, right? Because I think he had his contract done last year, like before the end of the year, so like before 2025. And he got recruited for another year. So I think he already said, and there were plenty of articles about it. They were up for contract negotiation. Got some not hit fine. If he wants to pay it, he will get a job. I'd be interested in that. Be honest with you, I don't know how they're working that out. But so what do we know? They were up for contract negotiation. Rob said, "I want this." Radio station probably said, "I want that." They couldn't meet in the middle. He was waiting. He got an agent / lawyer. And this is where things get kind of weird. And let me just give you my opinion of it, where if I were a business owner. So you bring in a lawyer / agent. I'm guessing, I'm just speculating, right? Is that WIBC was like, oh crap, you're bringing in a lawyer, and the lawyer for that, their general counsel was probably like, all right, well, he can't be here then because we don't know if he's going to be a liability or not. My sneaky suspicion was they never planned on giving Rob an extension to the contract anyway. And they were basically doing quiet quitting. And so they were just dangling that carrot, but they were like, okay, you brought in basically a lawyer into this situation. WIBC counsel, I'm speculating, said we might have a disgruntled employee, therefore we should send him home. And so he's just been home for however long. He said that he hasn't been on the air in like 18 days. I don't know if he hasn't been at WIBC in 18 days, because it feels like it was longer or shorter than that. But we are in February, so I don't know. All the days have mixed up by now. And so my theory is that they were wanting to get 2 months, you could say a month, 2 months of data to see if the ratings went up or down. And on Saturday, they said, we will know for sure by like the first or second week of February. I didn't know how fast the ratings came out. I thought like it took a week or so. That's why I was given such a long timeline. I'm like, if Rob's not back by like the second week of February, he's not coming back. So they must have got the ratings right away. And my suspicion is that they're probably the same. Now, this is where and so they were like, well, we're not losing any money. We're kind of net neutral. Can we plug somebody else in here and be just fine and have fill-ins? Because right now, Casey and the dude have been filling in the show. And then you had Jerry and Ethan today. And then you had Jerry yesterday with some guy. I didn't like it, to be honest with you. And so now here's where all the tinfoil hat theories come going on. These words were used as a Shove out of the door. Hey, you guys can say it, but I'm not going to say it. All right. Here's where the tinfoil hat theory goes. All right. And stick with me here. I have multiple ways of looking at this. Scenario one. Yeah, Jerry and Ethan are decent. Listen, I like Jerry. I like Ethan. I don't know how. Same Jen. Same Jen. So true, Jen. A lot of people don't, to be honest with you. Everybody I talk to doesn't. So, okay, so here it is. Here's my scenario number one. Braun, and this is kind of the common one. He was talking so much crap about Braun. I'm talking about Rob, and then bringing up the Mid-States corridor so much that they were like, Braun or Hope or whoever is connected were saying, hey, we don't want this stuff to be on the air anymore. We're trying to get this Mid-States corridor going. We'll give you a bunch of advertising money. Chill this guy out. Because what is the name of the game when it comes to the radio biz? Money, advertising dollars. So if you're guaranteed a certain stretch, this is why I think that they were giving it a month of data. As like, all right, you're going to give us a bunch of money and our ratings are fine. So why not? Right? I mean, remember, it's a business and a radio business. And from what I was talking to somebody over the weekend, they're like, 4 to 5 years is kind of your peak. And then you have to go do something else. Like anything past that, then you're just kind of, your flames out, and then you go to another radio station, another 4 or 5 years there, and blah, 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 blah. I can't say it. I still can't say it, Vic. So, scenario number 2. Braun was going to be giving a bunch of money to this all comes down to advertising, right? This is where I'm thinking. This all comes down to advertising, and they don't want Rob making a mess, making waves. Scenario number 2. We have all these primary candidates right now that are going to be running against the people that voted no against redistricting. So if Rob is making waves, that if to make the primary candidates look bad, and I know a lot of people have said it's like, well, they're running against people that are longtime uniparty establishment senators. You would want those people in there. It's like, no, but Rob wasn't for redistricting, so he would just talk crap about all of them. Maybe Braun doesn't like that. Advertising money, and then to get these primary people across the finish line. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. The thing is, I don't know what the range is for WIBC. Like, is it just Central Indiana? Because if they're running somebody against, say, Travis Holdman, how does that help out? If they're running against Greg Good, does it go down to Terre Haute? I don't know. Scenario number 3. Here's my new one. You ready? Braun Rob talks so much crap about Diego. Diego knows how to fundraise. Kokomo to Bloomington, Terre Haute to Richmond. Okay, so they are in those regions then, right? Okay, so that would kind of like check in with my primary theory. All right, so let's just give a theory, right? Rob is going to be talking about Diego. And so they're trying to get him across the finish line. Yeah, because Diego is crap. I completely agree. Everybody knows I'm a Shelton guy. And so if Diego wins the primary, Rob has constantly said that he will vote for Beau, right? And he'll make people push for Beau. And we know that the power of Rob is true because what happened in 24? He convinced a lot of people to vote for a dead woman. So it's totally not out of the realm of ideas that he could try and convince people to vote for Beau Bye, which is a terrible, terrible idea. And everybody knows I think that is a terrible idea. Well, makes sense now. I like it did then. What's H&N? Home Shopping Network? H&N. Oh, Hammer and Nigel makes sense now. Oh, yeah. Okay, Rokita seemed pretty smug. I mean, listen, Rokita's always smug, right? It doesn't matter what the situation is. If you've ever seen him in person, like he is just that guy. You know, he's been in the sector for what, a quarter of a century by now. So, but like when he became Secretary of State in the early 2000s, became a congressman, attorney general, all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, Rokita, if go to a public meeting with Rokita, he's always smug. One of the like underrated, funniest guys as well. So anyway, Bai needs me. No, he doesn't. No, Bai is a Trojan horse. Bai is a dope, and I would make him look like my little bitch if we ever had a debate or if I were to ever interview him. He is like a hamster that falls off his wheel. Talking to him, you can see just like the lights are flickering, just going like, you know, he's just a standard bro who wants to bang tens and talk about sports ball. That's all. Oh, really? Really? Wow. Interesting, Vic. Okay. Well, I don't listen to the radio, so I'll take your word for it. All right. So if that's the case, going back, so Braun is probably putting all his chips into Diego. Braun and company are probably putting all the chips into Diego because one is Diego's been in it for a while. Diego's got name recognition, and Diego knows how to fundraise. You know, don't believe the fake news. You know, promises made, promises kept, you know. Hey, you know, I travel all over 92 counties in 3 months. That's got to be on a record, right? You know, don't mind my $90,000 townhome paid by the taxpayers, you know. It's stuff like that. So we know that Rob will be talking bad about Diego. So it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that, hey, guess what? We'll make a little exchange. We'll give you a bunch of advertising dollars if you make sure that this guy doesn't get rehired. And WIBC is like, well, we looked at the ratings. They're the same, but we get a bunch of money. Works for me. Well, no. Well, you mean in January, right? Because I think he did this last December, not in 25, but in 24, where he was gone the entire month. Because if you don't use your vacation days, you lose them. I knew something was up at the beginning of January. I'm like, why is he not here? Does he still have vacation days? So the writing was on the wall, just not exactly sure why. Okay, so anyway, those are my three theories. It all comes down to advertising dollars, and it all comes down to Rob making waves. So, and I would mind you too, is that Rob has made a lot of enemies. He, you know, between Micah and Braun and Ireland and Haggard, all the people that used to come on the show don't come on the show anymore. That's why everything's so fascinating now. Because, you know, like we said, Rob will be just fine. Maybe he'll start a podcast. I'm sure there are people banging down his door to try and get him on the radio to make them money. All right. I am sure that is fine. That's why I said this is not a criticism of Rob. Everybody else has done it. I'm just giving my theory, what's been going on, and probably where the future is. Now, as a indie reporter / Rob Kendall joint podcast in the future, I have no idea, to be honest with you. That would be a lot of fun, to be honest. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Would not be cool if we had like, hey, I'm going to bring in the information of this bill. We'll just grab like a handful of bills and we'll talk about them for a half an hour, whatever it is. And then we'll just make a podcast out of it. Well, it was always a lot of fun, only if they let them speak the truth and expose corruption. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, anybody that hires Rob, they know what they're getting. Like, Rob's not going to want to have chains on him at all. That's why I'm convinced it has, I don't know, when I say like it has nothing to do with what he said, I mean specifically. Like, he didn't say, like, it's like how I got kicked off the radio. I got too close to talking about Fabio. That's why I got kicked off. Like, they didn't kick Rob off because he said something. They kicked him off because he was kicking the hornet's nest too much. And, you know, when you are the governor, possibly, speculation, of course, there's just the tinfoil hat theory. If they're trying to limit how much bad press that either Braun or Diego or any of the people that are running the primary might get, that's probably the most obvious thing. I don't know. we'll see. It's only been what, a couple of hours now since then, so I'm sure by the end of the month, something will be going on. It could say within the next week or so. Who knows? I know some of you guys are like, oh, do you have information? Listen, I don't have any information. I can promise you that. Even if I did, I wouldn't tell you guys. I just want to get back. All we know is now I will never be on WIBC again. Any kind of hope that for me to get back on the radio is now dead. So, well, I still have fun being on here and having the weekly show, and now the nightly show with Indie Reporter. Who could say? I don't know. I don't know if I'm having a Saturday show either. I'm going up to Chicago this weekend for the auto show, so I probably won't. And but just come back for the Indie Reporter show at 8:00 for the rest of the week. All of you, including Vic and definitely Ducky and Brad. I think that's it, right? Yeah, I think that's it. A lot of bills to go through. But anyway, mouthwash is next at 9:00 in 8 minutes. So you guys have a good night. Stay warm, stay dry. Do something that I would do. Love you guys. Bye.